Hello and welcome to Diaspora Digital Media, sacrificing competence on the altar of partisan politics. My name is Ron Pam Jr. and this is the Editorial. A very gory reality is unfolding before Nigerians. At a time when the best hands and brains in the country ought to be harnessed to kick the country's comatose economy into life, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has decided to leave no one in doubt that his addiction to partisanship trumps his will to reverse the hardship endured by the citizens. Skewed appointments of service chiefs, agencies, and board appointments, and the plan to relocate some strategic establishments all paint the president as a sectional leader. Now, Nigerians have become even more bewildered by the president's decision to flagrantly withdraw Ruby's Owenduwe's nomination as a member of the board of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Tinubu had earlier forwarded the nominee's name to the National Assembly for confirmation, but became bombarded by claims that the nominee has supported Tinubu's opponent in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party. Top functionaries of the All Progressive Congress (APC) had voiced strong objections to the nomination, saying the office was too sensitive for an opposition figure to occupy. DDM understands that Senate leader Senator Opeyemi Bamidele and other senators had expressed concerns about the propriety of Owodiwe's nomination during a session with President Tinubu. A Senate that should exist for the overall well-being of the citizenry has reduced itself to a partisan puppet whose usefulness is now in doubt. To put things in a proper context, this is how nominations work. Step 1. A list of persons assessed to be deemed duly qualified based on merit, performance, experience, competence, among other criteria, is sent to the presidency by a group of professionals who are saddled with that responsibility. Step 2. The president carefully considers the best and sends the list to the Senate for consideration and subsequent approval in the interest of the entire country. Step 3. In the Senate will now scrutinize the nominees and confirm. If they have doubts about anyone, they could raise objections. The Nigerian Senate is made up of 109 senators, 3 from each of the 36 states of the Federation and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. In essence, it is Nigerians, through their representatives, their respective representatives in the National Assembly, who reserve the right to finally decide who goes to the board of the CBN. In a situation where some senators have decided to deny Nigerians of that right, knowing that it will breed disunity and hamper the progress of the country, is, to say the least, repugnant. Luring the president into taking the blame to make himself look psychologically unstable for the office he now occupies. They take fat salaries at the end of every month, enjoy exotic jeeps, hundreds of millions of naira in the name of constituency allowance, yet make the president look bad in the eyes of Nigerians and the global community. Senators need not be reminded that the hallowed chamber which they occupy is guided by the maze, without which there is no Senate. The crown of the maze is Nigeria's national pride, the country's coat of arms, which bears the inscription boldly written, unity, faith, peace, and progress. Therefore, any senator who champions a move that pitches itself against the unity of Nigeria in any way has no business whatsoever being in the National Assembly. Tinubu's decision makes nonsense of CBN's purported independence. The CBN Act 2007 states that it is and it shall be a fully autonomous body in the discharge of its functions under the Act and the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Acts, with the objective of promoting stability and continuity in economic management. How then is the CBN autonomous or independent when its management and workforce is recruited and imposed by the political class? DDM insists that as the apex financial institution tasked with regulating monetary stability and implementing monetary policies, the CBN should rely on a board and workforce recruited on merit, irrespective of political, religious, or tribal backgrounds. Now, against this backdrop, the withdrawal of Owodiwe's nomination, apparently due to her political affiliation, underlines the school of thought that dissenting voices in the country are endangered species. The obedient movement, which Owodiwe pitched her political tent with, as far as DDM understands, was and is still a conscious agitation for good governance. Seeing adherents of the movement as threats to the polity is a threat itself to their existence as citizens. It is also an attempt to deny them of the right to political inclusion. Diaspora Digital Media frowns as such and implores Tinubu to make good his promise of running a government of inclusivity. Now, at this point, some questions beg for answers. How are we sure that this woman qualifies for the job? How did she scale through the screening to be recommended by her peers and professional contemporaries, and even pass through presidential scrutiny? Who is Ruby Owodiwe? Ruby Owodiwe is a seasoned professional known for her strategic prowess and impactful leadership. Currently serving as the Executive Director Operations of Core Technologies Incorporated, Ruby has carved out a distinctive career path marked by notable feats and innovative contributions. A Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy and Conflict Resolution at the George Mason Carr School of Policy and Government. She earned her Master's of Science degree in Systems Engineering from George Mason University 2009 to the year 2000. She had earlier bagged a Bachelor's of Science degree in Systems Engineering, also from the George Mason University in 1999. Owodiwe journeyed into the tech world in 1999 as a requirement and design analyst at IBM. She later proceeded to CACI International Incorporated, where she served as a systems specialist, further expanding her knowledge and capabilities in the tech landscape. In 2005, Ruby embarked on a new chapter in her journey by joining ExoStars as a senior technical analyst. During her tenure, she played a pivotal role in spearheading signature projects for esteemed clients such as Lockheed Martin's Corporation, Rolls-Royce, the Boeing Company, and BAE Systems. Her adeptness in technical analysis and project management proved instrumental in the successful implementation of critical solutions, including supply chain applications and secure identity management systems. Ruby's career trajectory reached new heights when she joined Stanbic IBTC, a leading financial institution, in 2010. At Stanbic IBTC, she held several key positions, including Chief Information Officer and Head of Corporate and Investment Banking Technology. She oversaw the delivery of Nigeria's core banking upgrade and spearheading the bank's IT strategy and technology delivery initiatives. She later transitioned to 9PSB as the executive director of technology operations, where she continued to drive innovation and excellence in the fintech sector. Now, if the calibration of the CBN is being done for good, then Owodiwe was eminently qualified for the job. For such a stunning career to be sacrificed on the altar of partisan politics is, to say the least, very puking. DDM warns that Nigerians cannot afford to watch the 4 year tenure of the Tinubu presidency wasted on unnecessary witch hunt and bad politics. The practice of appointing friends, family, puppets, and stooges into offices that should be manned by professionals based on merit, federal character, inclusivity is unhealthy for the nation. Such practices unwittingly pitch one section of the society against another. Public accountability disappears, and impunity, disregard for the rule of law, and corruption thrive. Sounds familiar? Indeed. These were the basic hallmarks of the Buhari administration. The result? No single friend, family member, ally, or acquaintance was called to order, jailed, or reprimanded in any way. Not even terrorists, kidnappers, or bandits. While the food inflation rate increased from single to double digits in the first 9 months of the Buhari administration, from 9% to 11%. Fast forward to today. Under Tinubu, the food inflation rate has skyrocketed from 24% to 37%, an increase of over 12% in just the first 9 months, the highest ever since the current democratic experiment started in 1999. With millions of Nigerians facing starvation in the face, one would expect that the Nigerian president would go all out to recruit financial experts to fix the problem. But the president seemed to be hell bent on punishing Nigerians for exercising their fundamental rights to free will. What seems to be the problem here? It is either that the president is not paying attention to his advisors or he has employed the wrong set of advisors. Whichever the case, he should seek counsel from former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who, like Tinubu, hails from the southwestern part of Nigeria. Obasanjo, in the first 9 months of his administration, reduced food inflation by 20%, from 5% to minus 15%. And how was he able to achieve that? By operating an inclusive government, going all out to recruit experts like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Charles Soludo, Dora Akunyile, Magnus Pako, and the list goes on, irrespective of their party affiliations. Like Supreme Court judgments, presidential statements and actions set a precedent for subsequent leaders to note. So when the president publicly stated that he will continue where his predecessor Muhammadu Buhari stopped, even APC supporters did not expect that it will include nepotic ethno-religious imbalances in the appointment of persons to run the affairs of the country. Worst of all, vilifying all Nigerians who may not have supported him but supported other candidates in the normal democratic process. The position is a statement to the over 13 million Nigerians who voted for PDP, LP, ANPP, and the rest of the other political parties as being second-class citizens. It is rather astonishing that almost a year after assuming office of the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, GCFR, the president seemed not to realize that he is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not the Federal Republic of the All Progressive Congress. In conclusion, it is evident that the sacrifice of competence on the altar of partisan politics, as exemplified by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's withdrawal of Ruby Owodiwe's nomination, is detrimental to Nigeria's progress. This decision not only undermines the autonomy of vital institutions like the Central Bank of Nigeria, but also sends a disheartening message to dissenting voices and erodes the principles of inclusivity and meritocracy. Nigerians must reject such actions and demand governance based on competence, not political affiliation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must use his good office to correct this wrong. To err is human, and to forgive, they say, is divine. And we know Nigerians are very understanding and very forgiving. However, the nation cannot afford to squander the expertise and potential contributions of individuals like Ruby Oundiwe for the sake of short sighted political gains. Not in this 21st century. That is a wrap on the editorial for today. I remain Rampam Jr. Thanks for watching.